Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 5th episode of Watashi Nouryoku wa Heikinchi de tte. And last episode, we had some of the fun, lighthearted silliness that we've come to expect with this show, like the maid cafe stuff and the outfit, segment where they got to put on all of Miles' old clothes. But we also had some more serious stuff near the end in regards to Reina, which is definitely new for this show. I assume we're going to get more into that this episode, maybe elaborate on what exactly happened in her past, which could make it a fairly depressing episode. So, let's see. 3, 2, 1, play. And yeah, looks like we're starting off with a flashback, and we do have little Reina. It's very cute, but, everything's going to go downhill. So you can't really enjoy this too much. But it is very cute. Yeah, was being the key word there. Yeah, already starting with this, I see. Wasting no time. Well, sorry to inconvenience you, criminals. I knew that was coming. I really don't think that makes anyone feel better. Though I can imagine who would want her. We know of at least one person. Huh, who's attacking? Or did I guess they already killed the father? I was kind of hoping somebody would come to help out, but I guess we already knew how this would end. It just everything's happening more quickly than I expect. Oh, well, there you go. That's kind of what I expected. It's just a little bit too late. Didn't I say we're doing everyone's backstories? Everyone's, really? Yeah, we really could have used you a few minutes earlier. And man, she just looks awful. Understandably. I mean, I don't know what options she really has at this point. Crimson Lightning. It's a pretty cool name. And yeah, we're just getting her full-on backstory here. Still cute, though. Yeah, I could do it too. Never mind. I tried. I had some redness appear. But at least she found some group to be happy with. Things have gone much worse. Yeah, who would want to sit on a guy's lap? Let's be honest. Like Reina belongs to all of us. Can't be selfish. That did not go much better. And she is very nice. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's some improvements. She'll get there. Especially when she meets Mile and gets some special training. Not only fire, but water. Better get her something nice. Double digits, pretty big deal. Oh, you want to choke grab your own? Oh. All I wanted was your choker. Yeah, I think she's fine as she is. No need to become too much like you. Oh. Oh, you said 5 minutes ago. Or 5 seconds ago. Yeah, they do seem pretty cool. But I'm guessing things go bad again. I can really see why Reina's not a big fan of these type of people. Oh, this better be going where I think it is. Come on, dude. That is so not okay. You are a bad person. Yeah, only emotional wounds for her. At least somebody's willing to protect her as best she can. But I don't know how long this can last. Mm. I was not ready for this episode. I think you may have upset. Yeah, feel free to. At least we'd eventually get reinforcements, again, too late. You seem a little bit more sad about it. Uh, uh. Okay, at least it got to her. That's a bit more of a fitting reaction. It's just I feel like I was more sad about it than they were, and they're friends. I see how it is. But to be fair, I got the visuals to accompany it, and they didn't. That can make a bit of a difference. Daga Kotowaru. But as usual, Mile is just a top tier comic relief character. Okay, I guess it's Pauline's turn. Hers isn't gonna be as sad, is it? I don't know she was a merchant girl or whatever. Looks actually pretty nice, yeah, more well off than Reina. But yeah. Again, thieves related. Well, damn. Got really screwed over there. That's fair enough, but... Uh... uh okay. Is this gonna be a competition of depressing backstories? Because that could be something. Yeah, what do you got for us, Mavis? You know, what's your backstory? Did your father beat you or something? You know. uh, you know, smile with all the references. Blondes everywhere. Of course, she had a bunch of brothers. Doesn't surprise me at all. Oh, wow. No. Man, she looked much more like a princess back then. And then transformation. Well, hers was more simple and less sad. Yeah, I expected more. Can't really go into too much detail on Miles' backstory with them, I guess. Our main event, Miles' turn. Yeah, I mean, that's a big mystery, isn't it? Well, for them. Well, everybody else shared. Okay, the truth or the semi-truth? Still gonna call you Mile. Technically. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I figured. Can't tell them about that. No, that's a Japanese name. You're not Japanese anymore. Could be worse. Could have been a slime. You're just an average noble. I guess that's somewhat average. Being reincarnated as a slave would be very unfortunate. What if there's anime about that? Uh, okay, I guess. Wow. You don't want me to answer that? How dare you walk in the halls? Who do you think you are? Rude, I care about her a lot. So take that. uh, oh. Yeah, might as well. Just don't blow up the forest. Yeah, I guess. It's a little weird though. Bring me water. Oh, well that was actually really interesting animation on that thing. Oh. Well, you wanted water. Are you happy now? I mean, I'm happy now. It's like a nice screensaver. I liked you before better. Yeah, let's. Okay, so that's her fault. And man, she just loves her references. At least that explains why we got what we got. She apparently likes the stupid magical girl mascot characters. Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah, not quite as average as she was hoping. Rude. Right, it's the boarding school. Did you guess where the uniforms came from that you... Here we go. Ouch. Oh no. No, go away. Definitely, you go away. Yeah, they are not the rest of the cast that we need. I don't know if that helped. Yeah. Life is just full of disappointments, isn't it? Yeah, I know the drill. You'll eventually get friends. Oh, she looks important. Yeah, she is straight up Ojo-sama through and through. None of us said anything about that. Well, you know, it's gotta be average. uh, I mean, not really. It's just... Yeah, well, it's complicated. Uh, I'm not sure how long they're gonna stick around with you. uh, yeah, you're definitely scaring them off. uh, okay. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, she's not here for this, so I'm glad we gave an explanation for that. uh, I don't know what you think you're gonna find. I don't see it. Well, you're not gonna find anything. Oh, what the heck? Why though? Why? That literally would not serve as a snack. Oh, that makes a bit more sense. Yeah, we're leaving now. Sorry to bother you. Straight up crying as she leaves the room. Uh, and what did you even want? Well, goes by pretty quickly. Yeah, I wonder why. Could it be pity, perhaps? Yeah, that's the outfit we saw Pauline wear. Yeah, that looks like it could be a good anime in and of itself. Like a prequel. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big revelation, how they weren't her first friends here. Okay. Oh. Is he about to be reincarnated into a real world? No. I literally just actually fell. Get out of my face. Uh... Yeah, where would you be reincarnated to next? Yeah, you can't penetrate this girl. It was just defensive. You shouldn't get too much trouble for that. No, I just a mage girl. Like, settle down. What are you thinking? Why would you do this, Smile? Well, this could not end well. Oh, wow. So much for average. Oh, wow. Stop, Mile. This is not gonna work out. I don't know how you expect this to end. At least she's respectful to her goddess. Even got the wings and everything. Yeah, what did you do? I really didn't expect this to be what happened after she jumped out. I don't think I'll ever forget it. What was I expected to smooth over? Just can't believe that happened, honestly. That was so unexpected. Aww. I actually feel really bad for them. That was... almost made me want to tear up. Although she had the boring one. That's actually really funny. It should be fine this time. Yeah, we'll always be together. First, Miles' second group. Says the girl that became a goddess. And that was the episode. I feel like I went through a roller coaster of emotions during this episode. I actually haven't really watched any reactions for this show yet. I think I might start doing that, though. But this show is something special. Just... I feel like a lot of people are not going to give this show a fair chance and miss out on it. Like I almost did. And it's really sad to think about. And that was the 5th episode of Watashi Nouryoku wa Heikinchi de tte Itta. And this episode... This is a difficult episode to talk about, but basically this was backstory of the episode. And I was expecting to learn some Reina backstory stuff, and the episode did not disappoint on that front. The backstory was more or less what I expected. Things went a little bit more quickly than I expected, honestly. Like, we got to the father dying faster than I thought, But because we already knew how this would end, when I saw Reina looking so happy with her father, I couldn't really, you know, usually I would be like, oh, it's so cute, look how happy she is, isn't that nice? But I couldn't really think that very much because I knew what was going to happen. And after it happened, yeah, I saw the look in her eyes, and it was very, I just, yeah, it hurt. It hurt to watch. But, you know, after they had, you know, grabbed Reina and I did hear, like, stabbing sounds, I had assumed somebody came to the rescue and was stabbing the enemy to, you know, rescue, but no, that's not at all what happened. People that came to rescue too late, which seemed to be a bit of a trend in the episode. But just, really, I felt so bad for Reina during her flashback, because she lost her father to these, you know, thieves, bandits, which is tragic. But then she had a little bit of a light, you know, because she was rescued by these group of adventurers, you know, one of which she was very beautiful, by the way. Like, you know, cute little mole and everything. Very nice, even giving her special choker. Like, she was a really good person. I really liked her a lot. And, you know, she even defended Reina to her dying breath. So, yeah, she was a great person. But, you know, just as always is the case, you know, Reina was really happy with them. Looked like a really, really happy thing. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but basically what I was worried about, you know, or not really worried about, because, it, you know, she was rescued too quickly for it to really be a concern, but one of the possibilities that could have happened to her was what happened in Uchi no Musume, if you've seen that anime, where the girl's father died and she just wanders around the forest for a while, you know, really hungry until she eventually gets, you know, rescued. But Reina didn't quite have that problem. She got rescued and took in pretty soon afterwards, so things could have definitely been a little bit worse. However, things always keep going bad for her at some points, and people keep trying to take her and sell her off, and it's just horrible. So it's unfortunate. I think it'll go right for her. And I was, you know, pretty sad during her backstory. Like, I got close to crying a little bit, at least at one point. And then, you know, she ended off by saying that's when Crimson Reina was born. And then we saw Pauline and Mile basically like, is that so? Naruhodo. Like, I guess that's it then. Like, there was almost no emotion at all. They were just like, well, thanks for telling us, I guess. Which that kind of shocked me a little bit. You know, like, I was expecting a little bit more sadness on that. Like, maybe not necessarily crying, but at least feeling as sad as I do, because they're actually her friend, you know? She's a real person to them, as opposed to a fictional character. So you'd think they'd have a bit more emotional investment in her than that. So I had a lot of mixed feelings about that when I first saw it. But by the time I had finished off the episode, I was fine with how they reacted. Because, you know, the show has a very unique style to it. And, you know, what made it better immediately was the fact that we did get the expected reaction from Mavis, but, you know, they just kind of refused to react in the typical way, you know. But, like, at least we got the reaction I wanted from Mavis. If no one else, at least she was just bawling her eyes out. So I like to imagine she just, like, sucked up all the sadness from Pauline and Mile. So just, yeah, that was great. If it wasn't for the way Mavis reacted, I probably would have taken issue with the scene, but that's oddly enough balanced it out in a way for me. It's really complicated to explain. Like I said, I had kind of mixed emotions around this entire scene, but at least somebody cared, you know. So yeah. By the end of the scene, I was okay with it, but I was definitely a little bit like, what the heck? Like, that's not okay. She's her friend. You should care about her. But yeah. Again, I'm repeating myself too much. Let's move on. And of course, got another bit of a reference here from Mile. I assume that was a JoJo reference. I don't know. I never watched JoJo, but I assume so. You know, the Daga Kotowaru thing. So, you know, that explains, obviously, Reina's whole thing with the bandits. However, the thing with the episode which was interesting, I mean, we kind of already knew this because of the title, was the fact that everyone is actually going to get a turn to express their backstory. And I believe Pauline was up next. Because, you know, we had this line from Reina that was like, you know, it's because you don't understand how it feels, you know? Which, you know, to have your family stolen from you like I do. And then Pauline's like, oh, no, you don't know what I know. I'll show you what I know. I'll show you about my backstory. And she, you know, she leads into it in a fairly positive, you know, way. But her backstory is comparably just as dark and depressing and tragic as Reina's. You know, we found out about her family, you know, the father being murdered, the company stolen from them, you know, the corruption that allowed this to happen, you know, what happened with the mother, you know, just, yeah, that was comparably, it was much shorter than Reina's, but it was comparably tragic. And she tells it with a smile, because Pauline's scary like that. So, that was good. I'm glad we got Pauline's expressing that backstory there, because, you know, Reina, you don't know that other people don't know what you're going through. I'm sure your situation is not quite as unique as you think it is. I mean, Pauline's obviously had some differences, but the overall concept of losing family was certainly there. And then it was Mavis's turn, who, you know, she was kind of voluntold to, you know, to take her turn. And at this point, I was like, okay, I understand where this episode's going now. We're each going to tell our backstory. They're all going to be tragic. We're going to be like a competition of who has the most tragic backstory. That's basically what I was almost sure would be the case at this point. That little face on Miles' face there. I really want to know, Kininonimas. I assume that's a Hyoka reference, you know? She's keeping out the flowers all around them. All around her face, even as they all kind of zoom in on Mavis wanting that story. And then she tells her story, you know? Which honestly, nothing about that surprised me. It's like, hey, yeah, I was part of this family, had a bunch of brothers, you know? I want to be a knight, they didn't want me to, so I cut my hair and left, you know? Like, there was really nothing surprising about that. It was very simple, basic, standard, not depressing at all. And everyone just like, huh. Yeah, okay. Sure, whatever. Is that really all? Is that all you got? So yeah, I do like how Mavis went third, because I think the joke of hers being like the odd one out would have kind of been not as good if she was, you know, last or any other position really. So I feel like that was pretty well done. Yeah, thank goodness Mavis-san's story wasn't so depressing. But the thing is, everyone also wanted Miles. And she didn't want to give it because, you know, she has like a multi-layered backstory, but she, of course, cuts out all the reincarnation stuff because she can't tell them about that. It's super secret stuff. But she did tell them what she could tell them, at the very least. So, basically, yeah, she's part of a royal family. I mean, hers is honestly the hardest to... I think her story had the most to, like, digest, the most to remember. So it's kind of hard to really summarize her story. But, you know, daughter of a viscount, because, you know, it's, like, average if you compare it from, like, royalty to slave, you know. So, as always, the averageness in this show is a little bit odd, but... it's, you know, it's the God's discretion, you know, how that goes. But, you know, her stories are present as well. When she was 8, mother and grandmother... you know, set upon robbers and killed. The mastermind was the father. Like, her story got pretty depressing pretty quickly, honestly. But then we got this wicked stepmother type stuff. You know, basically going full Cinderella over here. So, you know, even though her story is depressing, just the way she tells it, you know, I don't know, it just wasn't as sad as it could have been. Like, it wasn't the actual actions, the actual events itself was sad, but because of how it was framed, it didn't feel as sad as like Reina's. But, you know, a lot of stuff isn't too surprising. The whole, yeah, I'm trying to be average, but I'm so good, and I keep causing all these incidents to happen, you know, that I don't mean to while I'm at school and stuff. And I do like how we got an explanation about why the, you know, her little comrade, non-nanomachine comrade thingy there is in the form that it is, because basically it's just relevant to her interests, I mean, at the end of the day. But, you know, she was driven out of her home, went to a boarding school, and, yeah, that's where things happened, you know, blowing stuff up, beating people up, a bunch of boys getting attention from, which is just, you know, the worst in this kind of Yuri-ish show. And she was not good at dealing with that at all. And during this scene, all I could think was, like, yeah, these are not the people that she's going to end up with eventually. She's going to end up with people like Pauline and Mavis and Reina, and all be great. What I didn't know is that there would be some girls before that, and I honestly really love that. The addition to her story, her backstory, is that they were not the first. they were the first. These three people there were her first circle of good friends that she, had a strong relationship with. And I don't know, just for some reason, I really appreciate that little addition to the story. Makes it feel like her life didn't just begin when she met these characters that we met, but she has this whole another life that could probably be an anime in and of itself. Like it really could. Because she was sitting there. She had this Ojo-sama character pop up, like blatant Ojo-sama, the curls and everything. And yeah, she took this the wrong way at first. She's like, yeah, she's totally gonna bully me or something, because I read shoujo manga, so I know how this goes. Like, please don't make me go behind the school or to the bathroom, When she says bathroom, she's probably thinking something different than what I'm thinking, But still, regardless, she was wrong anyway. They go to her room, and, it's about as plain as you'd expect it to be. I don't know why she's holding her skirt down in this way here, but I liked it, I guess. And she tries to explain to them her life, that she says she's like, she comes across as really poor, doesn't really have nice things. So she's like, oh, you're a commoner like me. Oh, that's fine, we won't look down on you or anything. She's like, no, I am technically a noble. I just have complicated family circumstances, And just I don't know, this was a great scene. Just as she tries to tell her life story to these girls, and she does it in her usual silly comic relief way, even though what she's saying again is really depressing. Just the way she delivers it, the look on their faces as they hear it's just, I don't know, all this stuff was done really well. Of course, they like the fact that despite being technically a noble, she's not like stuck up or anything. And you have the one girl that's like, no, you don't be swayed by her sob story. I'm sure she says that. I'm sure she has a much better life than she's trying to let out. Let's open her closet and see all of her wonderful, nice clothes. And they weren't luxurious at all. Just tattered, plain clothes, just. But she didn't give up. She also opened a drawer and found a plate with a bone on it, which was hilarious for several reasons. But they definitely took it the wrong way. Like, she's obviously not gonna nibble on a bone. Like even if you're poor, like, you wouldn't do that. But, it's just for a neighborhood cat. But, by the time she brought the chairs, they were like, you know what? I think it's time to leave. I want to go to a corner and cry because of how bad I feel for her. And we actually had two of them straight up crying as they walked away. I don't know. Just, I love this scene. I love everything about this scene. I just, I want to watch it again. I mean, I technically am watching it again as I'm discussing it. But, the point is that Marcella, they all became great friends, and she actually trained them in a similar way as she trained the second group of people, even had the Masaroshi outfit and stuff, I think. And, they're wearing the gym uniform that, that Pauline wore. They're making their magic. And straight up, like, clearly the kind of relationship she has with Pauline and Reina and them, except she had it before she ever met them. I don't know, I just really like that. Her first ever friends that she talks about in front of her new friends, like, oh, so we're just second then. I see how it is. Just perfect. And then we got this scene. And yeah, this scene. And out of the entire episode, I think this really caught me off guard the most. Because most of this scene, when the child jumped in front of the carriage, and they all like stick their spears at him and all because this small child unarmed is clearly dangerous to the princess. And then you have Niall jump up there to guard him and put up a shield to block. Like, oh, this is fairly standard. Like, I've seen a lot of isekai fantasy anime in my day, and these kind of things where the hero comes out to save a small child in almost this exact situation, I feel like I've seen it many times. So my mind was kind of an autopilot, like, yeah, okay, I more or less know what to expect here. But then she did something very unique, surprising. I mean, maybe other people expected it, but I sure didn't. She's like, how am I going to get out of this? And I didn't know what she would do. I figured maybe she would run away or teleport or something. But no, apparently what she thought would be the best way to handle this is to float in the air and pretend to be a goddess, sprout out some wings, call forth the storm, and striking down lightning and telling them to give her the respect she deserves as the noble goddess she is. I cannot believe this popped up in her head as the best way to handle the situation. talking about divine punishment of the, the threatening the palace and the whole country. He just kept going further and further with it to the point of no return. And you got the princess kneeling to her, and just it's crazy how quickly this whole thing got out of hand. And then she left, eventually, but that complicated everything, and she eventually just kind of had to leave the school. And, and the worst thing about that was the fact that she left her friends behind. And it was such a brief little scene, like, didn't even get dialogue for them or anything, but seeing them in the room holding the letter, the cat with a huge pile of bones, which I think I missed the first time. But anyway, them standing there holding the letter, all three of them crying, including the main girl, just sad and holding the letter that she left them and probably never going to see them again. That was actually really, really sad. That was probably the saddest. There's really two moments in the episode where I almost cried. One was in the middle of Reina's backstory. The other one was there, because that was just so sad. Like, that crushed me, seeing them just seeing them crying like that because Milo had left, I hope she sees them again someday. Be great if the first group of friends and the second group of friends can meet up with each other, wouldn't it? And, that was the episode, after some quick, reassuring Reina and stuff. And yeah, I had a lot of mixed feelings throughout the episode. I mean, mostly the first half, because the way they were handling the sadness, the tragedy that is Reina's life really caught me off guard. I really can't express how taken aback I was by Mile and Paulina just seemingly not caring after we pan back to them for the backstory. That really is what got me. I mean, aside from the goddess thing, that's what surprised me the most. But once I kind of accepted, this is just kind of how this show does things, it didn't bother me anymore, but definitely bothered me for like a good 10 or 15 seconds before I pan over to Mavis. But overall, I would say this was a very good episode. This show, I think, definitely has its own style, a way of doing things, and I think it does it pretty well. And the characters are always great. Always great. Even the first group of friends that aren't going to be important at all to the story, I like them a lot as well. And I do want to see them come back again someday, somehow. I don't know how they'd ever be relevant again, but I would like them to. And I feel like I've repeated myself a lot more than usual already, so I think I'll just end off this video here. I've probably already been talking for an hour. That wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, I definitely am curious to see what other people's thoughts on this episode are, because I feel like this could be hit or miss with a lot of people. So that's why I do want to try and broach some reactions to this episode. But yeah, just definitely let me know what you think, because I am very curious. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.